Pastor Keith with Come Let Us Adore Him, a daily Advent devotional. And we are now on our 8th installment. May this be a blessing to you and to your family. A shepherd came to worship the Prince of Peace, who came to finally bridge the separation between God, mankind, and to purchase peace. We've all had weird, awkward moments with others. You probably hate those moments as much as I do. You say something, but it doesn't come out right, and what comes out is embarrassing. Your embarrassing little quip is then followed by what is probably a few seconds, but seems like an eternity of strained silence. You then feel the need to explain, but you just end up digging a deeper hole for yourself. You wish one of your listeners would rise to your rescue, but no one does. Finally, something else happens that grabs everybody's attention, and the horribly awkward moment ends. But it doesn't really end for you. You carry it with you for the rest of the night. In fact, it is the pain of the moment that wakes you up the next morning. A few years later, that awkward moment has morphed into a horrendous moment, and you retell the story over and over again to the delight of the amusement of your friends. I want you to think today about the most horrible, awkward moment in human history. This one wasn't a minor moment of embarrassment. It will never morph into a humorous story. As you read the account, you know you are dealing with something so shocking and out of place that the world will never be the same again. Every time I read this account, I want to weep. Every time I think about it, I am hit with painful thought that it really did happen and that we still see its results in our lives today. When you read it, you better know that this is not the way things were meant to be, or you will never understand the biblical story. And the Christmas will never make the kind of sense that it should make to you. Here's the Bible account. And they heard the sound of the Lord walking in the garden in the cool of day. And the man and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord among the trees of the garden. But the Lord God called to the man and said to them, "Where are you?" And he said, "I heard a sound of you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, and I hid myself." He said, "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten of the tree of which I have commanded you not to eat?" The man said, "The woman whom you gave to me, she gave me fruit of the tree, and I ate." Then the Lord said to the woman, "What is that sin that you have done?" The woman said, "The serpent deceived me, and I ate." Genesis 3, 8 through 13. Adam and Eve had just endured the first awkward, embarrassing, shame-inducing moment between them. For the first time, they realized that they are without clothing, and they felt instant shame. This is an intimate clue that their disobedience had destroyed their innocence. A human relationship would never be the same again. But that sad and shameful moment pales in comparison to what happened next. God was walking through the garden, and rather being filled with awe and joy at the thought of his presence, Adam and Eve were filled with fear. Their reaction was weird, awkward, and unusual. They had been designed for intimate, moment-by-moment, loving and worshipful communion with Him. They were made to delight in God and He in them. They were created to live in an unbreakable bond of love with Him. So their reaction seems strange and out of place. It tells us that something had gone drastically wrong. God notices that they have not approached Him with the usual expecting joy. And so He calls out to them, inquiring where they are. Adam answers and confesses that he was naked and afraid. The effects of sin are intimate and catastrophic. The bond between God and mankind has been broken. Fear has replaced love. Hiding has replaced communion. Adam and Eve have not only damaged their spirituality, but have lost a huge chunk of their humanity. It is a tragedy of historic and universal proportions. Made to live in the center of God's love, people hide from him. In the psyche of every human being, since lives this weird and uncomfortable battle between hunger for God and desire to hide from him. Sin has broken the most important relationship in all of life, the relationship between people and their Creator. This separation alters everything in each of our lives. That's why it is so wonderful and encouraging to know that Jesus came to earth to be the Prince of Peace. Through his life, death, and resurrection, he would make peace between God and us. By his righteous life, he would earn our acceptance with God and purchase our right to be God's children. It is this vertical peace that then allows us to live in peace and harmony with one another. The fearful awkwardness between us and God has been forever broken by Jesus. So we can run with confidence into God's presence and know that he will never turn us away. That's the good news. Ephesians 2:11-22 is the text or verse that is given for further study. May God bless you.